Right. Here again. I think this is the third day in a row at this point. Could be wrong. Don't really care. Actually, I kind of do. I like consistency. But, anyways, what I've been thinking about a lot is why do people want to learn things on their own? I know I mentioned it yesterday, and it like keeps coming up in my life since then, or like the thought of it, and it's been really interesting because I don't have a obvious reason, so figured I'd talk about it and figured I'd probably get something out of it rather than just do nothing and waste time like scrolling or whatever. So figured I'd talk about it. That's why I'm here. So I think wanting to learn things on your own is really, it makes sense to an extent though. Like, obviously someone telling you, I don't know, like a complex math equation or like a accounting formula or something, and they're like, oh yeah, you do this, and then they tell you that. Obviously you interpret the information, it's like, okay, yeah, I do that. But then once you work through it yourself, you're able to understand it better. And I think that goes with a lot of things in everyone's life. Like, I know for me personally, I learn a lot through personal experience rather than other people telling me, like, no, you shouldn't do that, whatever, something like that. And I've seen that in my life a lot. My friend, he's not like struggling with his relationship. Those are just things that are happening. And I've been through similar things. Not necessarily both ends of the issue, but I've thought about it enough to understand the majority of both sides. And the more I tell him, the more he's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And then he goes back on it once he has one counteracting thing. And like, everything I say makes sense, he agrees with it like fully, whatever. And then as soon as one thing points against it, then he goes with that one thing, which obviously that's personal, like an anecdote. It's just single person, single situation, whatever. But I think that kind of demonstrates how more likely we are to trust our own information that we've gathered than evidence from someone else. And I think that is just, I don't know if it's like a survival thing or what, but I definitely find that like super common. And I think it makes sense if you like kind of try to think about it, because obviously your mind can only comprehend so much, and when you're trying to think about a situation, you're thinking about all the parts of it, but when you're actually in a situation, you're experiencing it rather than having to like try and piece everything together. Everything's pieced together already for you, and you just have to experience it. And I think that's why it makes it a lot easier to learn if you learn it on your own and you learn it through your own experience. I'm not saying that's a good thing necessarily. It's obviously good that you're able to learn by your experiences, but I think being able to take accountability, but being able to take other people's advice more like seriously, I guess. I don't know if that's the right word to describe it, but being able to take other people's advice more thoroughly, I think. Once you're able to apply others' advice to your own life as though it was your own experience that lended you that information. Is Carbetta back in next to me? Yeah, I don't know why I always look like they don't care. But, yeah, I think that's really interesting. But I don't know how you're really meant to implement that, or how you're supposed to get better at that more so. Obviously, you can absorb all the information you want. You can listen to like other people's anecdotal stories. I guess that's redundant. other people's anecdotes, and you can understand their experiences and understand what they've learned from it, but it'll never be as strong as learning the information for yourself, which is really unfortunate. Well, I guess like it could be. I obviously don't know how everyone's brain works, but it's really unfortunate that you're not able to really perceive things to the to that extended level, really, without experiencing it firsthand. Yeah, that's really odd. It's kind of what I wanted to talk about. I definitely have more I can think on. Transition back in. I also wanted to talk about being okay with being lonely. Obviously, it's not something a lot of people want to experience. It's a lot of people are lonely, not by choice, but just due to the cards they're dealt, which is unfortunate for a lot of people, and I think they take it harder than they should. Realistically, being alone is one of the like, I think it's an amazing part of life, being able to find pleasure in being alone, because then regardless of what happens, if you venture onto a new thing and it doesn't work, you don't have to be worried about the predicament you'll be in afterwards, because you know you're okay by yourself. And I think that's just something a lot of people neglect putting effort into, just truly trying to find yourself and find what you are. What do you want out of life? What do you enjoy? What do you value? I think I've spoken about all of these before, I think, but really looking inward is, I feel, super important for any personal development. And I think one thing that has taught me is you have to be able to understand yourself before you're able to truly form a relationship with someone else. Obviously, I keep saying obviously, but not really obvious, but I don't think that's applicable for everyone. I think there's some people who just like click or whatever, and they have their like soulmate or whatever. I don't know. But I think for me, at least, I think one of the reasons I can't really find a relationship that's worked for me is because I don't truly know myself as well as I should. Because if I truly invested more time into learning about myself, I would really know exactly what I want out of a partner, what I want out of life, what I want out of everything, and how all of that ties together. And without looking at that, I'll not get overly emotional, but really tied into a situation and get really tunnel visioned, rather than take a step back and look at the bigger picture. I mean, tunnel vision isn't a bad thing necessarily, but I think just kind of finding time to step back and just kind of, not like in a weird Buddhist way, but kind of step out of your body and try to observe life for what it is and not for how you interpret it. There's life, and then there's existence, and then there's symbols you perceive as existence. No one sees the same thing, and no two symbols mean the same thing for anyone else. A symbol could be a steering wheel or whatever. It doesn't have to be a symbol, I don't know, a flag, whatever. It's literally a symbol, just anything. For me, a vent could be different than someone else, or something like that. Obviously not majorly, but everyone sees life differently, sees existence differently. Everyone sees everything differently. So I think taking a time to step back and just kind of really evaluating your environment, not necessarily from your point of view, but just trying to experience it. There was this one exercise I had heard of. It was really interesting. It was try and explain something without using words. It was really weird to me. Like, obviously, how are you meant to explain something without using words? But whenever you really try and go for that, you start to just see something for as it is, and you're not trying to put other words to it. Like, the thing that I did it with was a tree, and I was looking at a tree, and I'm just trying to not think of anything like green plant, whatever. Like, I wasn't trying to think of anything like that. I was just trying to observe the tree for what it is. Like, it's a tree, and I was just trying to like understand it more, I guess. It sounded really like natural, like naturalist type person, but I think it's really good exercise anyways. And what that really helped me understand, this was a point in my life where I didn't understand how my brain really worked, and everything was really disconnected within itself. Like, every portion of my life within my brain was disconnected. Like, it felt as though a portion of my brain was work, a portion of my brain was school, a portion of it was academics. I guess that's the same thing. A portion of it was like eating, portion was sleeping. Like, everything was its own segmented thing, like, instead of just one unit, which isn't bad. It kind of is. But I think for me, I'm getting back to the tree, don't worry. But I think for me, that really helped me kind of see a tree as a system, and just kind of like see it for what it is and like what it does in its environment, and being able to see that tree, and just like, obviously I couldn't see it interacting in real time, but just looking at the tree and trying to really like experience it really helped me understand how everything in nature is a system that works together, and all that everything is together. There's not one thing that doesn't affect something else. Like, if I don't know, like, let's just say I dig up a rock, it'll like move dirt, and then that dirt, there's no room for something else. Like, there's a whole bunch, like a domino effect. There's a bunch more things that'll happen if one thing changes. And I think for me, what that helped me realize within myself is that I'm a system as well, and all my thought processes aren't segmented. They're still all the same thing despite having different like attributes. So, and what for me would happen was I would get really tunnel visioned in a single one of those attributes, and there'd be like the conglomerate, and then there'd be like one small thing, or it wouldn't be a conglomerate, it'd just be like a bunch of small things together, and then it'd be really easy for one of those small things to break off since nothing was really interconnected. But once I started to realize how everything in my life works together, and everything's not as segmented as I once believed, and like, obviously I know that from my own like thoughts, I'm really logical, and I try to figure things out and put it in their own respective spaces. But once I started to realize how systematic everything is, and everything kind of ties in, those barriers between things started to fall apart, and it just kind of melded together. So then getting tunnel visioned got more difficult, because it was harder to pull one thing out of a group than pull one thing by itself, if that makes sense. Like, if you have like 20 paper clips just in a pile, you can pull one out super easy. But if you chain all them up together, pulling one out, it's a lot harder, because you have to pull everything else, and then everything else pulls towards it, and everything else pulls back, really. It doesn't really pull back, but I guess it makes sense in the setting. So it's really interesting to me, and that really helped me understand that better, and understand myself better within that. And I think I just need to further apply that to my life, rather than just like kind of live. I feel like I haven't really been experiencing, I've just been doing, if that makes sense. I've just been like existing. I haven't really been present within my own life. I've just been like there, if that makes sense. I don't know how much sense that makes. It makes sense to me, and that's all that matters, really. My channel, it's like my journal, whatever. But I've been really just like present and not experiencing things. Like, I've just been in life, not like of life, I guess. And I think I want to try and get more into that, and just start sort of letting things touch me more deeply than they have. Obviously not get like super emotional over every little thing, but I think letting experiences get more of a hold of me instead of just being like, no, I need to focus on this or whatever. Just kind of letting experiences happen and kind of internalizing. I use that word a lot. I really just mean it as a way of really embodying like an idea, like internalizing that thought of my mind being a system rather than separate parts. It took a while to really internalize that. Despite me knowing it, it took a while for me to really absorb that and put it into practice and like internalize it. That's what I mean by that. And I think being able to internalize more of life, more of my experiences, will help me gain a better understanding of who I am, because I'll be able to get a deeper sense of what I appreciate in situations and what I think I'll just be able to feel out life better if I really let situations like touch me. Such a weird like way to say it, but like let situations really get like within me, like really understand them and like experience them just rather than just being there. I think I've like switched around experience and be present, but I really want to just like let situations and environments get more of a hold on me, so that way I'm able to find out what I appreciate and what I don't appreciate more, because every situation will have a more profound impact on me, and that more pronounced impact will lead to stronger likes and dislikes, and I'll be able to apply that to myself, and I'll be able to learn more about myself, because I'll know how things affect me more than just brushing them off, really. I think that's really all I wanted to talk about. Really pretty short video today. I just needed to talk about some things. So yeah.